Great to see you here again. Now I will go a little bit in more detail about project initiation and the 10 steps. So basically here we have two elements that I will be looking at. We have first of all the project charter, and the second element is about stakeholder identification. So when we look at the initiation process step, it's about creating the charter, and the charter is a high-level description of the project, and we can include there additional information related to the project. Things can be, we already have stakeholders, of course, we already have the description. Elements can be a version control, can be some reserved budget, risk parameters, the people who will be signing, things like that. Now, the main information can be copied from the business case. It would include the business goals, the estimated cost, financial performances, risks and assumptions. And based on this information, the preliminary identification of the stakeholders can be done. It is clear that during the planning, we will find more stakeholders that may be important for our project. So once we start with the planning and we look at stakeholder management, we will see that we will have different processes to look into. In the 10-step process, we are not going so very deeply into the topic of stakeholder management, but we will have a video later that will be talking about stakeholders and what we can do about the stakeholders. Let's have a look at the project charter. Like I said, it's the main document that describes the projects in its simplest form. It used to be an informal agreement, but today it's more considered as a contractual agreement between all parties. The charter must be understandable by people with different backgrounds and levels, and the description should be without technical terms or jargon. It becomes very complex when you have very large organizations to share all the technical data with everybody. And this is a management document, and a management document has to give a high-level overview of what you are going to create, what is the goal of the project, and what are the basic elements. Of course, you can have more information as attachments, as annexes, like the business case, some case studies that you did before you started to write the project charter. These can be added in attachment, and people can consult them when it's necessary. Of course, the charter contains the description, but it also contains information to cost, risk, assumptions, and other elements. We will look at that later when we'll be talking about designing a charter. It is done together with the project manager. That's the best option that you have. It's not necessary, but working together with the project manager to create a charter is already a very important point. And of course, everybody will have to sign it, including the project manager. Now, when we look at stakeholders identification, we have to deal with stakeholders. It's very important. It's not only done in the charter, it will be done during the project planning and execution. And when you have to deal with people, you have to understand who you are dealing with, who are the people who have power over the project. And when you look deeper into stakeholder management, you will see that you will have to identify who is important for the project, who can be dangerous for the project, who will be supportive for the project. It will not be discussed in detail, like I said, in the course at this moment, but you have to understand that when you forget a stakeholder, it can have consequences. That nice man that you're talking to can turn into a monster who will destroy your project because you just forget the person. And these are things that are extremely important, that you evaluate the stakeholders, that you understand how they change, what they think, what they want. And it's very important to evaluate what happens when people are changed in the organization. You were dealing with the CFO, there is a new CFO. That is a new person that you have to evaluate. So understanding the people who are the stakeholders, what they want, how you can deal with them, and how you can, in fact, engage them to have a successful project. So that was about the initiation and the first step of the 10-step program. We have some other things to do. We have to look at all the other steps and some other topics, but you will see that in the next video. So thank you and bye-bye.